Podcast 1. What is a hazard? Page 212. In 1978, Burton, Cates and White wrote, "A hazard is a loss of property from natural events. The rate of these is rising in most to all regions around the earth. Loss of life is rapidly increasing among many of the world's poorest nations." This was written almost 40 years ago, yet it is still relevant today, as due to an increasing population and arguably an increasing rate of such disasters, more people than ever are affected by natural hazards, despite an overall fall in actual death rates. A hazard is the threat of substantial loss of life, impact upon life, or damage to property caused by one event. A disaster is when the threat has actually happened. These hazards can be grouped into three main groups: geophysical, driven by the Earth's own internal energy sources, such as seismic activity or volcanoes; hydrological, driven by water bodies, mainly the oceans, such as floods or storm surges; finally, atmospheric, driven by processes at work in the atmosphere, for example, tropical storms or droughts. The impacts of hazards can be grouped into two groups. Primary are immediate impacts such as the destruction of infrastructure. Secondary impacts such as disease or recession. Questions. What is a geophysical hazard? A hazard driven by the Earth's own internal energy. An example of this would be a volcano. Second question. Economic recession would be a primary impact. True or false? This is false, as it is not a direct impact of the hazard itself. Key words from this podcast were geophysical, hydrological, atmospheric, primary impact, secondary impact, and of course hazard. Thanks for listening.